support. And so Ayike was there to encourage us to apply for EU grants, and that was the support we got from Dr. Ayike.
Well, I mean, bene, so this means that NCP could really play an important role, especially for newcomers when they are not aware of the potential of Horizon Europe.
Yes, Roberto, can I just add one point to that? Yeah. Because he used the words that he put a lot of pressure on them.
Absolutely.
That is the way researchers will see it as pressure, but it's encouragement, it's motivation.
Absolutely.
So NCPs, you know that they have to persist. Even if you try at first and the researcher is not willing, you have to put pressure, quote and unquote, more encouragement, so that they can know exactly what to do. And that is the essence of this workshop. Thank you very much for that presentation. It's very inspiring.
Thank you.
It's a good testimonial for the effort that we are trying to do in this regard. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Another question is, how did you start? Well, I mean, as you mentioned to us that you were not the lead applicant, right? You are one of the partners. So my question to you is how did you start to make Irua Hospital known to the European lead partners? Because this is one of the key role of NCPs is just to facilitate how Nigerian partner could be known to European partners. So how did you start? This is the question, and I'm sure that this is also an important issue that all the other participants would like to know.
For us, there was this Professor Sunday Omilabun who worked in the University of Lagos. He was partnered with the Bernard Nocht Institute, Germany, and they wanted to work on some viral hemorrhagic fever, including Lassa. So they reached out to us, and I think what they saw was our enthusiasm and our zeal to work with them. I think that's very important for the European partners. They want to also see that you're enthusiastic, you're zealous to develop and work with them to achieve a goal. Because they are often, will I use the word frightened, if the bureaucracies, the difficulties are much, then it really gets disturbing. But if you as the local partner makes things easier for them, to beat the bureaucracies, to interact with openness and transparency, then they are more comfortable to engage you on the table. So I think through Professor Milabun, working on viruses with the Bernard Nocht Institute, he introduced them to us. Initially, we were sending our samples for diagnosis through him to his Lagos lab and sometimes to Germany. But eventually, our German partners came to us, and during the discussions, we said, look, we would like to have a laboratory within IRUA such that patients can have real-time diagnosis and it's useful for treatment. And after much discussion, this was done, and capacity quickly grew. And then we started writing researches together and then started applying for grants together.
Okay, well, I mean, Silvanus, thank you so much. So what it is important is that you had already some links with this professor, but I would like just to underline, just for the benefit of all the participants, that, as you said, your competitive advantage was to have an expertise on Lassa fever. So this means that if an organization wants to be successful, the first thing is to identify which are your competitive advantage. And you mentioned that on Lassa fever, you publish a lot of papers a lot of articles. So you have a focus on such issue. So this is very important, because the message I would like to give to my Nigerian friends is, if you want to be competitive, you have to identify first which is your competitive advantage in an area where only Nigerian people or only African people could say something. For example, Lassa fever, of course, it is not a subject that you can treat in Italian hospital. Lassa fever is, let's say, an advantage, if you allow me to say, for Africa, because it took place only in Africa. So this is the really value advantage. And the message I want to leave to all of you is, think about in your area, which is the competitive advantage which make you unique.
Absolutely.
This is also a good reason why a German university is interested just in keep you on board. The second question I would like to ask you is, you mentioned that when you applied in the first round, you failed. Can you tell us which were the reasons why you failed?
Yeah, the first time we applied, it was for a vaccine trial, and we were working with Themis to get a vaccine for Lassa, and they had developed a candidate. And through our partners, we had been contacted, and we had all written that proposal. We expected to get it. We really expected to get it. But another group now got it, and so we were very unhappy when we didn't get it. But we sat down, and after it took us about 1 week to recover, we tried to hold a meeting and said what actually went wrong. And we looked at our proposals and thought, well, we probably need one partner who has more experience with sequencing. We probably need a partner who's really experienced in writing, who's done the vaccine trial. Did the proposal thing, dotted all the I's, and then we applied again. And this time we were very happy to get the grant.
Sure.
That's exactly what happened. So
Well,
yeah, so you feel it when you lose, when you don't get the first grant, you feel it. Everybody just goes silent for a while, then somebody picks up the courage and say, look, we're going to do this again. I'm sure we narrowly missed it. And of course, when they write to you, sometimes they mention they write to you very nicely that, oh, your proposal was really beautiful, but see, there are many people who apply, and sometimes maybe one or two things, and you're encouraged to do it again. And we did it again, and we got it. And when you get it, I mean, it makes life different for you and for the whole group. It's just such a happy event, and it's life-changing for the researcher. It brings you to the national stage. I've had to give talks about what we're doing virtually all over the world. So it
Yes,
just
indeed.
keeps giving you visibility. And
thank you, Silvanus. Mike, you want to say something? Mike, your microphone. Mike. Microphone.
Sorry, I'm changing my system, and can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just to thank Professor Silvanus again and to encourage NCPs to take off from the story that he has told, the testimony of believing in possibilities. Irua Hospital is a center of excellence in infectious diseases, especially laser fever and co, and is well renowned. And so they've used that to advantage. There are several other such centers in Nigeria now that NCPs will target and focus upon. The World Bank Centers of Excellence, we have 20 of them. 17 of them are active. The 3 that are no longer funded by the World Bank are still active on their own. Remember, Roberto, when you came, we visited the African University of Science and Technology in Abuja.
Sure, yes.
It's one of the 3 centers that is no longer being funded, but you see that they are still very active. The other one is in Jos, and one also in Federal University of Technology, Abeokuta. Those 3 that are no longer funded are still very active because they've been able to build their capacity and they are surviving. But the 17 others that are still being funded are also centers where we can harness research groups to follow the sort of example that has been shown by Irua. So I encourage our NCPs to deliberately target these centers. We try to encourage everybody, but we must target some people so that we can really change the game for Nigeria in terms of winning these grants. I think the potentials are very high. A lot of these centers have very, very nice, very well-equipped laboratories now. For instance, the University Center of Infectious Diseases, I'm sure Professor Ivanos is familiar, and they must be collaborating.
Very well.
These are potential centers of success with the EU Rising Program and the Erasmus. So I want to encourage NCPs to take up this challenge very seriously, and let us see how we can, within the next 2 years, get more Nigerian researchers to participate in the Horizon program, because that is the objective. And I'm happy that Roberto has been able to bring you up to show the example and demystify the issue of getting grants. It's hard work and persistence. That is what we really need, and then understanding some of the nuances as you have experienced now. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. I would like just to take advantage of the presence of Silvanus, just to because this is so nice, and in my opinion, this is so testimonial. I would like just to say something that you said, which was very important, which is the reason why you failed on the first one. And I really would like that all my friends listen carefully. I remember a motto of Nelson Mandela. He said, I never lose, or I win, or I learn. Or I win, or I learn. So you never lose, and this is, in my opinion, a powerful message. Now, you said that one of the reasons why the first application failed, it is because you need more sequences activities and more Bayesian trial, and the partner that you had did not have an experiences on this issue. So what I'm saying is the composition of a partnership is extremely important, because an NCP should really guide the applicants in saying, look, if you want to be successful, is extremely important that you find partner with expertise on certain activities. So this is the reason why in tomorrow we will focus on the evaluation letter that as you said very kindly has been sent by the EU delegation, because the evaluation letter really a sort of incredible mine of information of what you have to do and what you miss. So I'm glad that you mentioned this, because evaluation letter has to be read carefully, and all of the NCP should really encourage all the prospective applicants to read the evaluation note, the evaluation letter, and to understand where are the failure, where are the failure. Mike, do you want to add something, or does
no, I think that's all. Let's continue.
Or does the participants would like to ask something more?
Salisu Nassar has raised his hand. I think can go ahead. Salisu, go ahead, please. Very briefly. Salisu, can you unmute Dr. Salisu Nassar? Unmute him, please.
Hello,
okay,
good afternoon.
Yeah.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, please go.
My name is Dr. Khalid Nasir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
From Federal University, and currently a sabbatical staff at Federal University of Technology, Barbara. Please, I would like to ask some few questions. The previous speaker has mentioned that one should identify a European partner with similar interest before he can write his application. Please, I want him to educate us more on that, please. How can one identify a European partner with similar interest? And the second question is, how can one build a consortium? Thank you very much.
Well, I mean, thank you. Well, I mean, concerning your first question, how to identify European partner, we will there is a dedicated session on this. I will present you which are the potential of the Horizon Europe NCP portal, how to identify NCP in our European countries. So this is I cannot reply to you now because this will take a long time, but please stay with us, because tomorrow will be a dedicated session on this. Concerning your second question, how to build a consortium, and your second question is related to your first question, because how to build a consortium means that you have to remember that European partners cannot lead at they only can be partners. So what is important is that in your area you have to identify, I tell you this, and then you will we will make some cases. We will make some cases. Is you have to identify the NCP in your cluster area in other European countries. And this is rather easy because there is a portal where you can identify all the NCPs. What is relevant is once, and I anticipate something that we will discuss later on, once that you have identified the NCP, is which kind of message do you send to them? And here it comes again what Silvano said. You have to show your competitive advantage. Why you have to explain why your organization is more performing than another organizations in Africa. And here again, Silvanus told you the reply. You have to show published papers. You have to explain that. Can you tell me which is the subject of your cluster? Are you dealing about in which cluster are you dealing with?
Pardon?
Can you tell me in which area are you working?
Actually, it's an application of nanomaterials in solving energy challenges. Global
Okay, so right, so you have to once, but I will show you how to identify European NCP. You must prepare a sort of presentation of your organization explaining what are you doing in the area of renewable energies in Africa. What did you achieve also with national funds? Did you publish any scientific papers? So the two steps are: one, identify the NCP from Europe, and this is, I will show you tomorrow. But the second is, once that you identify which paper are you sending to them, because the quality of the papers is the key to get a positive answer. You have to show them that you are reliable. And as Silvanus said, I mean, I'm using the words of Silvanus, you have to show that you have a competitive advantage. Can you tell me, for example, just if we make a case now, can you tell me which are, in your opinion, the competitive advantage that your university has in renewable energies?
Actually, we have a lot of researchers here that specialize in renewable energy, and they have a lot of publications in high impact journal. This is one of the comparative advantage that I think will help us in achieving our aim.
So what you have to write is, you have to listen. You have to mention the names of the researcher, their degrees, if they studied overseas, and also you have to mention all the scientific research, because the more you present yourself as an organization with a value added, the more chances you have to be retained by the lead applicant. Because remember, Nigeria cannot be lead applicant now. You can only be a partner, but and you have to convince the lead partner that your organization has an added value. And also in terms of researcher, it is important that you underline how many researchers you have, because in the implementation phase, you have to provide elements that you will be capable to deliver. And how can you deliver if you don't have researchers? Do you follow me?
Yes, sir. I do follow you.
Well, I mean, so if you have any other questions, you can send it to me. You have my email, you can send it to me. I will write my mail. Then there is another question from Professor Ganiat Adesina.
Okay.
Ganiat.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Hey, buongiorno. Ciao, ciao.
Bonjour. I'm glad to be here. So happy to be here. Actually, I learned I can actually gain a lot of experience from those who are in the consortium already. Currently, there is a kind of platform for the new call in Nigeria, being managed by the Ministry of Education. And so this is where I got the link to join, and I registered, because I actually have questions similar to that of Dr. Umar. However, you've been able to explain a lot of things, but I want to know, in the consortium, do you just have one Nigerian institution and one partner from the European Union zone, or you have to partner with another university in Nigeria, like making 2 university or 3 universities from Nigeria, partnering with 1 or 2 from European Union horizon. So this is my major concern, because now we are in the stage of forming a consortium, and I'm actually not so clear, though we are still going through a lot of training. We have another one on the 12th and 13th of this week, which I think will be of more benefit to us. But I'm happy to be here and to learn from those who have gone through a milestone as Erasmus scholars. So thank you so much. I'll be glad if you can clarify that. What is the limit to the consortium from Nigeria and from Horizon European Union? Thank you so much.
Silvanus, I'm sure that you would like to say something, then I will complement, if you allow me.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very, very good question. I just use our own as an example. For us in Nigeria, there are many areas that have Lassa fever, but there are 2 major or 3 major centers. Bauchi is coming up now as the 4th one, that have a lot of patients. And for our trials, we need a lot of patients. So IRWA now has to collaborate with Federal Medical Center Owo, the Federal Teaching Hospital in Abakaliki, and bring them up also into the consortium as Nigerian partners. So we have 3 Nigerian partners that we're starting with. And then for the European partners, we have more. We have the Bernard Nock Institute of Tropical Medicine. We have the Alima Foundation, and we have ANRS France. Those are the major partners, but we have other partners who do 1 or 2 things for us. Maybe nothing much, but they just contribute 1 or 2 expertise to the project. So you can have more than 1 Nigerian partner. You can have more than 1 European partner. Then to talk a bit about the competitive advantage, it may not just be your own skill, but it may just be that there's something that's available that you can put on the table. For example, there's some teaching hospitals or universities where they have a lot of patients who have lead poisoning from time to time, who have cholera, they have some places where they have a lot of patients with heart diseases. And so your partners who may be interested in studying those illnesses may want to collaborate with you because you bring a lot of patients that are relevant to the project. That also is an advantage and something you can put also on board. Over. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Silvano. I would like to say that I will show you then a website where you see the number of partners for each project, and you will be, and generally the number of partners is 10, 12, 15. So is for Horizon Europe, this is a big consortium. But in the call, there is only a limit of which is the minimum number. There is not written which is the maximum number. There is the minimum number. Now, what I would like to tell you is the more partners you have, the more complicated and the more demanding is the management of the project. Therefore, don't think that if you have more partners, you will get an higher score. You have to have the partners which are needed in order to implement the activities that you want to have. For example, remember Silvanus before said that one of the reasons why his application was not financed, it is because he these activities, in the activities of the project, they were looking for activities like buzzing trial and sequences. And he said that he didn't have partners with responsibilities and with references in this area. So what is important is to match the activities that you envisage with partners who have experiences in this area.
Absolutely.
For example,
Absolutely.
if you are just to make you an example, if you are in there of renewable energies, you are and one of the activities of your project is the development of new energies, but also is the extension and is the training of new people. If you are only a vocational training center, but only made the research, but you are not doing diffusion, there is a gap, because you saying that you want to have activities in the area of research, and your organization is okay, but if you want to make extension, if you want to make more training, it's important that you have the two level. For example, another example, if in your project there are certification activities, you know what is certification, no? Sometimes project needs activities need to be certified. So it is important that in your partners there is someone who is in charge for certification. But so this is basic. But I want to show you something just to be. I want to be back just to the project of Silvanus, just to give you some example, because the partnership issue is really the complicated, is demanding. But I want to show you some tools in order that you can find part. One second, please. Sorry for a second only. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Hello? Okay.
Sorry, yes, please, I can see it, but can you make it bolder, please?
Yes,
So
one second.
Okay.
Presentation mode.
Yes, 1 second. Okay. So this is, for example, these are official information I found out from just from the website. I will show to you later on. These are some of the partners. For example, here these are only few of the partners, but the number of partners is very big. I just would like to just to bring your attention to the financial impact of this project. The total budget for this project is 8 million euro, which means 13 billion naira. So this is a massive amount. For Irwa Hospital, the budget is 1,649,000 euro, which is 2,868 naira. So this means that there is a relevant financial flow just to the hospital. Now, the question I would like is how to find complete information about this project. So what I will do is I want to show you Ganithia, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the website Cordis Europa, and this is the repository of all. Are you familiar
Yes,
with this portal?
I'm familiar with the
Okay.
interface, yes.
Okay, so just to give you, because what is important is that many of you ask me how to find partners. Well, I mean, here, for example, I just did it Nigeria, and here there are 277 projects with Nigerian partners. For example, if I click here and visit is, and you see, I want to show you this is something which is interesting. This topic of I wanted to show you something. Hold on.
Okay.
1 second, please. 1 second.
Okay.
One second. One second, please. Let me stay. Don't run away.
Okay, no problem.
Efficiency. Bassa efficacy, tollerability, and efficacy, tolerability, and safety. Okay. Okay. So this is, can you hear me now? No.
Very well.
Let me share. I want to share you with. Okay. So this is extremely. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Ganiat, what is important in fact in this you have all the information about this project, and also you have the complete list of all the partners. Look at here.
Okay.
You see,
Okay.
this is the coordinator, and here you are, and here you have all the participants, and here you have all the contact and all the. If you click it here, you can contact the organization. So
Okay.
what I want to tell you is that you can write here. You have the email address, the names, and everything. You see.
Uh-huh.
You see, when you have
Okay.
to contact, you have to register, but when this is very easy. So I'm
Okay.
telling you this because here, for example, the number of participants are 8 participants. One is French, and he's the coordinator. Then there is another one who is French as well. Then there is a German. Well, for example, here there are 2 Nigerian.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
as I mentioned to you, there is not the call just fix which is the minimum limit. They don't say the maximum, but as I mentioned to you, if you increase the number of participants, then the management of the project will become extremely difficult and complex. So
Yes, you're right.
so my suggestion is don't go, well, I mean, don't be more than 10, 12, because
Okay.
if you increase the number of partners, I mean the
Yes.
management, this is becoming extremely difficult.
Yes. Okay.
And here, for
Thank you.
example, you see there is Irua, there is Federal Medical Center, there is Gabon. So this means that in this information you have really a lot of a lot. Then what is important is when you build a consortium, there are 2 levels. The first level is the partners.
Okay.
The partners in this case there are 8 there are the participants. There are 8 participants, 8 plus 1, 9 participants.
Okay.
And this is the first level. Then the second level is the partners. And here there are 6 partners.
Okay.
Did you see? Which is the difference between partners and participants? The participant get financial amount. You see here, look, this got
Okay.
1 million
Yes.
euro, 1,600,000 euro. They don't get money, but they only get participation. They can get the recovery of the expenses.
Okay.
For example,
Okay.
they get, if there is a conference or if there is a webinar, they can get invited and they get financial support. But sorry, they get the per diem, they get the accommodation, but they get the flight ticket, but they don't get the money. Which is the difference between the partners and the participant? I mean, partners, they generally have a very dedicated role. They speak at a conference, they make a survey, but they are not involved in the implementation, in the complete implementation.
Of the
So what
grants.
I'm telling of the grant. So participants, they are the one who have a more stronger responsibility on this. Okay.
This is
I don't know if
this information is amazing. I've never heard of participant and partners. In fact, I was thinking as an institution, we are partners. We have partners abroad and then we are partnering here. That means for us in Nigeria, we have to get universities and also from Europe, and then we become participants. Then we can bring in like the partners again at another level. This is really
Yes, exactly. But this is the reason why I want to insist on this portal, because this portal is very important. You can build network, and and
May
the
I ask you a question?
access. Yes.
May I ask you a question? At what level do we bring in these partners? Is it at the level of writing the proposal or implementation level?
No. You find partner at the level of before writing the proposal. You write. How does it work? There is someone who is the coordinator in this case, this French university, who develop an idea. He just made a project idea of 1, 2, 3 pages. And then he started to think which could be the partners I have to so you have to when you present your project, you present the project also with Silvano's focus on Lassa fever. Tell me which is your area.
Waste to wealth. Waste to wealth. Waste to wealth. And looking at the management of it and how it can be converted into energy too.
So waste management.
Yes, waste to wealth. Converting waste management, managing waste development, a kind of the scientists that will we have a proposal on that already. That's
okay.
How to convert solid waste into energy.
And here, for example, for example, here there are 20 projects which were, and here I mentioned in Africa. So I click on the first one. And here, for example, you see, Ganyat, you have all the European partners who have been dealing with solid waste, but not solid waste in America. They are dealing with solid waste in Africa.
In Africa, okay.
This is the coordinator. And you see here, there are all the participants with them. You see here, there is the full name. You click it here and you can send an email.
Okay.
So this is, okay. So, I mean, and then you choose, this is very powerful. Do you follow me? Because
Yes, sir.
you have, I mean, they are not generic partners. I mean, they are partners with a specific experience on the subject that you identify, which is solid
Okay.
waste.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
Awesome, right? Well, I mean, and here,
Awesome. Awesome.
do you have any questions?
I'm dazed. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you for being so explicit and taking us through this. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
And I wish one day
No other question?
I'll come here to tell my success story. One day, by God's grace.
Yes, yes. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
sure. Well, I
Thank
mean,
you.
but remember what Silvano said. I mean, it is difficult that you win at your first time, huh? So
Yeah.
it is important that you really insist.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Bene, allora, if there are no other questions, I would like just to go back to my presentation. So how did you find complete information about this project? Remember that the website is cordis.europa.eu. I write it in the chat, but I cannot. I write it in the chat for you in order that everybody remember europe.cordis.eu. So this is really the website where you can find all the, I mean, all the projects which were funded by Horizon Europe and the previous one. Now, I want to be entering into more details about Nigerian heroes. How many are they? This Cordis link shows all the 227 Horizon project with Nigerian. So this is important, and I think to Mike, if you really want to know who are the Nigerian heroes, you just go just to this link. This is an open link, so there is no password at this point in time. What I did is I just did the digit Nigeria, and here for Nigeria, and there are 67 for Nigeria. Why? Because here there are some filters. There are some filters. If I want to know only for Horizon Europe, I click this one, and then I apply, and you see that the number this is 67. So again here, this is Lassa fever, but for example here there is urban, and here again, if I click it here, this is again a relevant amount, is 5 million euro. It is coordinated, this is the coordinator by a partner from Cyprus. And here again, you see there are, in this case, there are 22 participants, which is a big amount, you see. And here, for example, there are all the partners. And again, I can find out if I want to be in touch, I just click it here. Then another question that you may ask is, how can I rate? I mean, how can I understand if this organization is a good one? or is a bad one? In other terms, which are the reference of this organization? Do you follow my question? Hello?
Yes,
Hello,
we can
hello?
follow you.
Okay. So if you click it here, the machine is thinking a bit, but here you see this organization in how many projects has been involved. And for example, here you see that this Hellenikos Georgikos Dimitra has been involved already in has been already involved in already, sorry, let me. This says that this organization, Dimitra, received 13 million euro, which is an important amount. Which are the thematic areas where the organization has been involved? And here it has been involved mainly in global challenge, European industrial competitiveness, social widening. So these are the areas where it has been working with. And also here says, for example, in how many in the, no, I want to show you another things, which is more important, says in this says that the organization has been involved in 10 these are all the networks where the organization has been involved. So this means that you can understand whether the Greek organization is a good one or is a bad one. Because when you find a partner, I mean, finding a partner, it is always demanding activities. And these are all the networks where this Greek organization has been involved. For example, as you see, these are all the countries where the Greek has been involved. And here you can see the kind of project. So I'm just telling you this because this network is very powerful and is really extremely important. I hope that I reply to your question on this is one of the tools. Then there is also other tool on how to identify partner and how to build consortium. Am I clear enough? Do you have any other questions?
You're very clear, Prof. Thank you.
Bene. Allora, we still have 15 minutes. So, how many have they? I mentioned to you also that limited to Horizon Europe, there are 66 Nigerian organizations. And then my question to you is, have you ever been in touch with this organization? And if yes, which kind of relations have you established with them? I'm asking to you, well, I mean, whether have you never used this Cordis portal in this respect? Hello, hello.
Yeah, until we are able to check, that's when one can actually be able to ascertain whether we have MOU with them or we have one or two things in common before now.
Yeah, well, I mean, so this is important, and please remember, this is one tool. Then there are also other tools just to identify other patterns. You mentioned something which is very important, which is an MOU. An MOU is a memorandum of understanding, which is a document which has to be signed jointly by the lead organization and the partner, and in the memorandum of understanding, sorry, there are it is written who does what, both during the preparation phase and also during the implementation phase. So the memorandum is very important because this is a sort of formal agreement, between the different organizations, and this is very important. Then the next topic, when we have a break at 1 for half an hour, more or less. As I mentioned to you, we have 10 minutes more. As I mentioned to you, I made a survey before this training on the role of national contact point, and I find out that the role of NCPs is not always very clear. So sometimes there are there is some confusion. And I want just to recap on, I mean, this is the official role. National contact points are support structures but have become an essential component in the implementation of successive framework programs. So this is the key issue. They provide information and on-the-ground advice to potential applicants in a manner that would be impossible for the Commission and its agency acting alone. So I'm telling you this because the role of NCP is really important. And here is the same Commission recognized that without NCP, it would have been impossible just to implement Erasmus Plus, Horizon Europe, and all this program. Which is the legal basis? The legal basis is this document, which is called Minimum Standard and Guiding Principle, and this document is really the milestone which set who does what in terms of NCPs. I want to quickly go through it because then we will enter into details later on. Again, we are into another portal, which is Horizon Europe NCP, which is extremely well done. And here there is the document. And I do invite you, all of us, just to read it carefully, because this document says really which are your roles. The key chapter is which are the key principle, the core function, and then all the different modality of cooperation between the NCP and the other portals which has been made, which are delivered by the Commission. I want to we will come in to here again, but the key principle is that for a national system, they are mentioned here. I would like just to mention something here, which is transparency, which means that an NCP cannot participate. I mean, the physical person of NCP cannot participate as as an applicant. They have to be a dedicated web portal, and Nigeria has a dedicated web portal which is made by Cognity. And then maybe Michael Faborode could, if you like, could show you this portal. And then he has to cooperate. The NCP has to cooperate with the Enterprise European Network. And this is a portal we will present later on, which are the advantages of it. Now, which are the core functions? The core functions are indicated here in chapter 4, is information and awareness raising. So this is the first bulk of activity, and we will show you later on how does it work. Is assisting, advising, and training. So the second role is this one, and the third one is signposting and cooperation with the other net. So this is the key document. We will come back here again. Now we have almost finished. Here there is Goniat. I send it to you already. Yes, I will reply to you later on. Now I already send you in see my previous text. In the previous text, I send you already to you my message.
Your email?
Now,
okay.
Can you see my presentation?
Yes, please, I can.
Okay.
Very well.
So,
I can.
Okay. Ben, okay. Now we are almost lunchtime, so I would like just to make a short recap, which is always important. What we did this morning. I apologize for my technical problem of my portal. I don't know what's happened, but we focus a lot on which is your role as NCP. We insisted a lot of how many Nigerian heroes there are who already get granted from Horizon Europe, and as I mentioned, there are almost 200. There are more than 276. And what has been interesting, to my opinion, is the presentation of Silvanus. I like it really very, very much. It seems that on the basis of your question also, this is something that you enjoy, and this is extremely important just to your respect. Now, we have half an hour break. I'm happy that the number of I'm happy that that the number of participants remain steady. We started to be 33, and now I don't know how many people there are now, but well, I mean, there are only 31, so which makes sense. Now we have half an hour, so we start again at 13:30 sharp, and we will speak, and we have two external testimonials. One is from an NCP Italy, and the second is an NCP South Africa. NCP South Africa, and they will share with us their experiences on this. I would like to thank Michael Faberode just for all the term, for all the times, and for all the time he invested, and he moderates some of the discussion, and also just to Cognitive platform, just allowing to us. So if you have here, I wrote my email in chat. So if you have a question, send me an email, and see you here in half an hour time with these two external speakers. One is the NCP Italy, and the second is the NCP South Africa. I want to ask Cognitive, Ayala, have you are in touch with the external speaker, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so very good. Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure meeting you. See you in half an hour time on this screen. Ciao.
Thank you. Bye.
Hi, my name is Miguel Pinheiro, and I'm part of the Innovate team that has prepared a series of videos to walk you through some fascinating grant opportunities in the European Union. The European Union has many programs in areas such as innovation, justice, mobility, and health, to name a few. Today, challenges. So if you want to win one of these prestigious multi-million euro grants, you need to think about how your project will create global impacts. So, what are we covering today in this brief session? Here's a list of the topics. We'll quickly go through the structure of Horizon Europe and its priority areas of research and innovation where the EU is investing. We will cover some of the jargon of these EU projects so you can be more familiar when listening to our other videos in this series. And we will end with some tips and tricks to consider when building your consortium for success, hopefully showing you also how collaborative projects are an attractive opportunity for increasing your available funds for research and development, as well as to build a value network around you. Come along with us. Hopefully you've memorized that there are grants to help solve global challenges. But before we add more detail into it, let's quickly grasp the structure of Horizon Europe. On the left side, Pillar 1 is for excellent science. We are talking here about programs that are very driven towards fundamental research and discovery, primarily led by academia and research institutions. In Pillar 2, we have 6 clusters designed around some of the key challenges faced by the world today, such as digitalization, climate change, food security, among others. We will go through these in a minute. Lastly, on the right side, you see Pillar 3, which funds many disruptive ideas and innovations driven by small companies. Our focus on this series is on the middle pillar, and in particular the 6 clusters, which attract the majority of the funds available in Horizon Europe, as can be seen on this graph. An essential keyword when looking at this Horizon Europe landscape is work program. Most Verizon Europe initiatives follow this logic of having a work program, which is kind of an action plan. This action plan sets out the funds will be used towards specific cutting opportunities, aiming at target outcomes and destinations. Let's look at the schematic of how EU policy priorities convert into specific topics that you can apply to. The idea here is not that you memorize this, but rather that you understand that each project funded by the EU is a piece or a cog in a larger machine with higher purposes. But if you have robust knowledge of those purposes, you can make a stronger project. The EU sets specific priorities for progress, such as the Green Deal within energy or mobility, or the Fit for Digital Age within digitalization, among others. Each one of these EU priorities is broken down into key strategic orientations that will affect areas where research and innovation are needed. In very concrete terms, the EU expects that these vectors will help us all reach a destination. A destination is a long-term effect that is the direct result of progress and achievements in research and innovation. Research must be needed to achieve the destination. In Cluster 5, for example, one of the destinations is transformation towards climate neutrality. We will not get to climate neutrality without huge investments in scientific progress. Hence, Cluster 5 has many calls for proposals and expected outcomes that act as pathways to get to the destination. So if you look at this diagram, you will see the blue arrow on the left comes from policies, the top row, say around the Green Deal, which then leads to specific objectives and target impacts around climate neutrality, the next two rows, towards achieving the destination of being climate neutral. If you then follow the green arrow next to it, you will see that there are expected outcomes, which are specific effects of each funded project, which must also align with the destination. What is planned and promised in each project must contribute to the destination. The work program in each cluster, if you see the green arrow, defines these destinations. Since each destination is a big endeavor, no single project will achieve it alone. Again, remember the pieces or cogs of a larger machine? Do you see the relationship? That's what we're going for. So there are multiple topics open every year that specify a group of expected outcomes related to the destination. If you now follow the gray arrow on the right moving upwards, you will see that each project must build up its results, objectives, tools, and so on, if you look at the last row, towards achieving the scope and outcomes specified on the call and thereafter fulfilling part of the destination. A successful project must follow the sequence of the gray arrow. Hopefully, you now understand better how to plan for success. Here are a few of the key concepts from the previous diagram that we think you should keep in memory. Each work program is designed around a series of impact-driven destinations. Each destination describes socioeconomic challenges to be addressed and the related expected impacts that research and innovation activities will contribute to. Under each destination, there are one or more topics, each describing the expected outcome and the scope of the research and innovation to be supported. The expected outcome are the desired effects of the project in the medium term. It's a description of how this topic will move the needle towards the destination. Those outcomes can be, for example, the uptake, use, or deployment of the project's results by its target users. The scope describes the area of research and innovation that needs to be tackled by the project so that the expected outcomes are achieved. The scope is the process to get to the outcomes. However, the scope is not a recipe prescribing the methods to use. That ingenuity and creativity must come from the researchers and innovators that are preparing the application. so that each topic is a competition of the best ideas to contribute to the expected outcomes and impacts. Hopefully by now you get a clear picture that reading through the words in the topic will give you a detailed direction of the challenge that is in focus and what is needed to succeed. And then you apply your creativity on top to propose the best solution with a consortium of partners. You might be wondering now if all project types are the same. Glad you asked. No, they're not. They're not all the same, and we will cover the three main types quickly so you know which one to pick. Within the 6 clusters of Pillar 2, projects are mostly in one of these 3 categories. The first one is coordinated funding is not for research, but rather for this consortium to be the lighthouse and the support structure of many projects and specialists in a given field. In many calls for proposals, there is usually one of these CSAs. Then there are research and innovation actions, or RIAs. RIAs are projects that normally start with early stage academic ideas and proof of concept, that is TRL 2-3 in case you're familiar with the scale, and help them progress with collaborative R&D to prototype or pilot stage, TRL 5-6 in the same scale. These projects have most of their budget allocated to research activities to generate applied knowledge to solve a specific challenge that is specified in the topic. Lastly, there are innovation actions, or IAs. IAs are projects on technologies that are more mature than RIAs and therefore start when there are lab results or highly promising achievements, typically TRL 4. The project helps these technologies progress to just pre-commercial stages, typically TRL 7. It is quite normal for these projects to have the industrial or commercial in the project as partners in order to mimic what will happen in the market once the project out comes. In our video series, we will cover all Cluster 1 is on health, and it has calls for proposals in 2020 work and on society as a whole. A lot of this research combines behavioral changes for citizens and communities, as well as the use of tools that increase the efficiency and effectiveness of care provided to patients, and maybe even before they are patients, meaning tools available for citizens and primary care professionals. There is a significant driver across these destinations to maintain health more than to manage or cure diseases. Both factors are needed, but there is a growing demand for prevention approaches rather than simply remediation. To the extent that European partners are leaders in these projects, then successful projects will help maintain Europe as an innovative and globally competitive player in the health industry. And this final logic applies to all clusters. Cluster 2 is on culture, creativity, and inclusive societies. Cluster 2 has calls for proposals in 2023 and 4 for the following destinations listed here. The focus of these destinations is on innovative approaches for democracy and governance to acknowledge the role of our past and our culture towards current industries, not forgetting the social transformations that we're all going through related to media consumption. Cluster 3 is on civil security for society, and it has calls for proposals in 2023 and 4 on these destinations. These destinations look at how to maintain citizens in the Union safe and protected against crime and terrorism, which means not only protecting people, but also the infrastructure and the means of communication that are used almost invisibly in our social fabric. Cluster 4 is on digital, industry, and space. Cluster 4 has these calls of proposals in 2023 and 4 for the following destinations listed here. This is a very broad cluster in terms of destinations, but the overarching theme in all of these destinations is to think of the technologies and platforms that need to be in place towards widespread use of digital applications, increased competitiveness of European industry, and space exploration and exploitation. The goal is to upkeep Europe as a front runner in these areas while still respecting the climate, our societies, and the individual humans that will use these technologies. Cluster 5 is on climate, energy, and mobility, and it has neutrality through and beyond a transition to greener energy supplies, more efficient energy use, as well as increased safety and modalities in mobility that respect the environment. And finally, Cluster 6 is on food, bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture, and the environment. Cluster 6 has calls for proposals in 2023 and 4 on the following destinations listed here. The underlying paradigm of Cluster 6 is the need for a transformative change of the European economy and society to reduce environmental degradation, halt the decline of biodiversity, and better manage natural resources while meeting our climate objectives and ensuring food and water security. The research and innovation priorities focus on further strengthening our autonomy in the energy and food sectors. Finally, we have arrived at the tips and tricks section of this video, and I want to congratulate you for coming this far. We have gathered here some insights to get you started on this process, which are based on common questions that we get when helping to build a consortium. Here they are. Number 1, what is the right consortium size? There isn't a right size, but there is a rule of thumb. The minimum consortium size is very often 3 partners from 3 countries. But this table shows historically the sizes of approved projects in Horizon Europe. If you look at the last column, based on a population of a bit more than 300 approved projects, you will see that for innovation action projects, on average, each partner gets around or a bit more than €500,000. If you know the budget of the topic you're applying, which is public knowledge, you can work backwards to the right size for the consortium of that topic. Question 2, what is the right number of countries? Every European project needs to have a European dimension. That means that you need to assess for your project how does the inclusion of different countries benefit your case. To the extent that your area of research varies widely in Europe or has local barriers for adoption, then that calls for inclusion of more countries. If you need a rule of thumb, take the average number of participants calculated in the previous question and do slightly more than half of those participants. Question number 3, what are the right partners to include? Well, partners always need to be complementary. Think of your own value chain when you bring your product or service to the market. You likely need suppliers, transformers, integrators, customers, and end users. An R&D consortium is not the same as the final commercial value chain, since most partners need to be engaged in R&D while in the project, but is also not a one-off constellation that is only relevant for a few years. If you read the call text meticulously, you will often see hints or requests for specific partner types and roles. It is really important not to read the call diagonally. So what are the right partners to include? Everyone with a credible and actionable role to bring your innovation to use or to market. Those can be universities, large companies, startups, governmental agencies, associations of end users, among others. Question 4, how long is a project? The project duration is usually decided by the partners based on the activities to be carried out. Reviewers will assess if the timeline is credible to achieve the expected outcomes. For an innovation action, 3 years starts to be credible. The normal range is 3 to 5 years and occasionally longer. Question 5. How much work is needed to prepare an application like this? It is demanding, but acknowledge that this is a competition at the European scale. Only the best will succeed. Larger consortia require more time for coordination, but realistically aim for an effort in the range of 1,000 hours between all partners. This includes building a consortium, aligning partners' needs and expectations, defining a project theme that motivates everyone, writing the project to align those needs with the topic's ambition, doing regular meetings, design elements for the application, and then all the work up to submission. External support can be used to alleviate partner effort and to coordinate the process, but the creativity comes from the consortium. Question 6, and the last question. What if the project is rejected? Is that usable in some way? Yes, absolutely. We have seen in our own rejected proposals that the collaboration to deliver the application brings the partners closer and willing to collaborate, despite the negative result. Very often, new grant applications are evaluated both nationally and at the European level, or partners just start a bilateral collaboration with own funds. This is fairly common, and the proposal created the introduction that everyone needed to work together. There is also the possibility to find a new topic in the future that addresses a similar scope. The proposal can be reworked to try again. Remember that no single project will solve a destination, so there are multiple topics with similarities and collectively aim at that destination. So it is possible to find a new one that is sufficiently similar. We hope this video motivated you to consider innovation actions as a tool for research and development funding and to establish value networks around you. This was just the introduction video, and we have other videos that dive deeper in the actual opportunities in specific clusters. I invite you to look at those now, or at least into the cluster that caught more of your attention. As a last
Hello, hello.
Hi, hello.
Hello to everybody. We are starting now.
Okay, you're welcome.
Ciao, Ganiat. Are you okay?
I'm great. I'm good.
Where are you calling from, Ganiat?
From Nigeria.
Yeah, of course, but where from Nigeria?
Abuja. Abuja. I'm from National University of Nigeria.
We have now
Thank you.
a presentation. We have now a presentation from Caterina Bonocore. She's the national contact point. She's one of the national contact point in Italy. Before this, I just would like to speak just for 2 minutes, 2 minutes on something which is relevant. And I would like just to show you, and this is something which is relevant mainly just for the organizer, is how is the NCP organization in Nigeria compared with other EU and African countries? So this is important just to have some digits. For example, in Nigeria, there are 65 appointed NCPs. In South Africa, there are 24. In Kenya, there are six. And in Italy, there are 12. So 12 physical persons. And what is important is that in Italy, the services are provided by APRE, which is not an organization composed by university. This is a university. This is an organization which is composed by the different bodies involved in this. So this is why, because they are working full time. So this is extremely important, but sometimes professors, they don't have the time just to do at the same time to work and also just to make, just to perform as NCP. And here, this is something which is, in my opinion, is very important. This is the official list of all Ghana. Can you see? Ganiat?
Yes, Prof, I can. Very well.
Okay. So, for example, here, look. Here again are you can find the NCP by the different country group. These are the EU member states. And for example, if you are looking for the NCP in defense, the coordinator Marie, you see there are 105 of them. So it's easy. You send them an email. So if you are working, for example, in the area of civil society, and this is the subject of Ganiat, you just click here, and you have the 4 who are dealing with civil security for society. So I'm telling you this because this portal is very powerful. You see, this is really a way to be all over the world. The question that I would like to ask you is Hello, Ganiat. Ayat, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you, Roberto.
Okay, well, I mean, as I mentioned to you, you see, this is very powerful because here you can find out the NCP which are specific in your area. For example, here, fair countries. If you dig, for example, South Africa, here, and if you want to see all function, here you see there are 23 NCP with the addresses in order, and you can contact them. So I'm telling you this because this database is really important, and this reply to one of the question. I close my presentation, and we should now have Caterina Bonocore online. One second. And establish the link.
Yes, good afternoon.
Ah, Caterina.
I'm there.
Hi.
Sorry. I just entered the call. Sorry. Is it already my...
Yes. How, Caterina? Buongiorno. This is Caterina. I know Caterina since a long time. So she's one of the NCP from Italy. And as I mentioned to you, it is important that you explain to us your role, which are your main activities, and how do you work with prospective applicants from the different cluster. This is an NCP course this is a training course for NCP in Nigeria, and you are connected with more than 30 NCP. So you have a big audience. You have the floor. Caterina.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you, Roberto. I'm sorry, you just have to give me 1 minute to connect with my presentation because I need to share it here. And Roberto, in case I have any problem in sharing, is there someone from your organization who could share my presentation?
I ask Ayala, yes. Well, I mean, you can try. You already sent it, so I ask Ayala just to do it in case you have difficulty.
Yeah, because I was restarting my PC just before the call, and now I think that there is a problem on the USB for some reason. So yeah, if Ayala could do this favor to me, and then I will ask her to go forward. But in the meanwhile, I can, while she helps me, I want to thank you for this opportunity to have this broad audience of colleagues from Nigeria, all national contact points. Yes, for me, it's also an opportunity to reach you all in one day, and because I think we never had the opportunity to meet over Brussels NCP meetings. Probably you are generally connecting from in hybrid mode. I am national contact point for Italy since over 15 years. I was changing thematic and role in these 10 years. I started with health, but then I got class 2, so inclusive innovative societies, and I'm also national contact point for the JRC, the Joint Research Center of European Commission. You know that European Commission has a research center, evidence pieces of European Commission, and so this is probably the most atypical type of NCP work that you can do, because there is no call or no work program you need to inform applicant on, but it's really giving visibility to the JRC of European Commission. And actually they have a lot of relations with the non-EU countries. They have several services directed to countries outside European Union who would like to receive 7 areas: Belgium, Netherlands. In Italy, we have 2 JRC centers, one in Germany, one in Spain. Yeah. So this is a bit about myself. I'm also the coordinator of one of the National Contact Point project we will talk also about today. There are many NCP networks, namely projects funded by European Commission to support our NCP capacity building, NCPs. We'll mention them myself, and also one of the next speaker, Maurizio Toscano from FECIT in Spain. Yes.
Let me ask.
Otherwise.
Because you cannot share it.
No, yeah, but no, I will. It was just a matter of no timing that now I have to download it from the email.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, why we are waiting just for the presentation going on? Caterina, tell us which are your main function as NCP, and which are the key difficulties. Okay, but you are sharing. So this is your presentation is there.
Yeah, but yes, sorry for this. I'm sharing the PDF. But anyway, Roberto, just tell me if you see it moving and everything is okay. Okay, so yes, well, indeed, my presentation content, you see that the slide has moved?
Yes, the slide is moved.
Content is really, as you asked, APRE, what do we do as agency, our role, our functions, and how do we interpret the national contact point work in our country, in Italy, which model we have chosen. Then I will mention a bit indeed what we do nationally, but also what the European NCP system is doing. So about ourselves, we are an association, we are private and non-profit. We are indeed the agency for the promotion of European research. So our mission is very clear, also in the acronym used for our association. Our mission is really to promote and support the Italian participation in the framework programs for research and innovation. So we are very focused. We don't tackle other European funding programs, but we are really on the research and innovation part. This was a decision taken by one of the Ministry of Research and Education over 35 years ago. In Italy, there was a necessity to create a support system because the program was really important, an important program dedicated entirely to research and innovation at international level. So Italy had to really take the opportunity to participate more and to win, to be more successful. So the decision came, and a little task force was created in the Ministry of University and Research. This was really the beginning of our entity. It was made of 3 people in the ministry, and they really started to do a very basic work of information sharing. And then after 3 years, this task force was externalized. So it went out of the Ministry of University and Research, and it became an agency, an association. It was always with a very tiny workforce, but then we grew in these 35 years, and now we are 65 people, employees with different type of contract, but we are pretty, I would say, big compared to the beginning. We are based in Rome, and I will tell you more about how we are structured in the next slide. We have also, as you see here, members and help desk, 150 members of our association, and we have 12 regional help desks, and we have a liaison office in Brussels. On the right of the slide, you see the activity we perform, and I show you more details. So these for what we do for Horizon Europe applicant at the moment, information and awareness raising, it takes a lot of our time. We also advise applicant and assist them during the preparation of the project, creation of the consortia, problem on legal and financial rules, understanding the rules, respecting the rules. And when it's not really our job, it happens that some researchers are asking us things which are not really of our competence. So we also try to forward their contact to other colleagues in other ministries, in other agencies, because of course there is a broad spectrum of programs and funding for research and innovation. And then we also do training. This is something that not all NCPs are doing in the different European member states, but we devote a lot of time in organizing trainings, so more on in-depth seminar where we explain how to write a project, how to write a successful project, especially on Horizon Europe. As I told you, we are an association, so we have many members. We are now having 150 belonging to all stakeholders, which are really crucial, strategic for participation in the research and innovation program at international level. So we have a private part on the top, industrial association. We even have companies, private companies, big companies, science parks or cluster at regional level on specific themes of research. Of course, many universities, research centers, some public entities as well. And we have also few banks, which are, of course, banks which are really having coaching program and funding program for actors doing research in Italy. So this is really our table of stakeholders to whom we have a very stable dialogue, and they are all interested in the participation to the program. We have help desks, as Italy is big, probably not as big as Nigeria, of course, but we feel that there is a need, of course, to not to have only contact point in Rome, but to have also people working in the regions which are really closer to the scientific environment of the different regional authorities and regional territories in Italy. So they are helping us. There are no national contact point. They have no nomination, but they are there, and we train them in different ways so that they can help us on giving assistance at regional level. For Italy, our model, the Ministry of University and Research has given us the nomination. It's an individual nomination. Each of us is receiving a letter. We have to sign confidentiality agreement, etc. So that's the situation in Italy. What did we choose to do? And I hope this is interesting also for you to know. We have a centralized model, meaning that all national contact points are in APREP, in our agency. So we share working environment, and we have the opportunity also to gather monthly to share the information we receive from European Commission, and also to share the work we do for our applicants. This model is pretty unique, I have to say. So in Europe, many countries have generally more often a distributed model. I wouldn't tell you now what is the percentage, but there are also many entities in Europe who have a distributed model, meaning that different NCPs are in different organizations, belonging to a different sector or to different ministries even. But yeah, our case is really the case of a centralized model. And yeah, we also, I think, appreciate a lot the fact that we are together in one physical place. We are 12, and 12 officially nominated NCPs divided per pillar 1, pillar 2, pillar 3. But each of us, I will show you later, is also having more than one nomination. So we are covering more than one program per person. We also believe that to do this job, we really had to also create our knowledge, participating ourselves to European projects. And that's what we did in these years. You see that we started in FP6, and we, in the end of the program, got the participation to about 60 projects. These are projects, not research projects, but projects where the NCPs are supporting the applicant in different aspects of the participation. So you see that our participation in the project has also, anyway, grown in the year. Now in Horizon Europe, we have about, I think, the same amount of Horizon 2020, but the program is not over yet. And in this project, we learned how to write proposal, how to manage the project, how to do dissemination, communication activities. We learned how to do stakeholder engagement, which is really the work of an NCP. Of course, how to do awareness raising. And in many projects, we have also been developing activities which are supporting researchers to approach policymakers and provide them with evidence-based result of their research. So this is really what has made also us, I think, very knowledgeable and performing as NCPs. So learning on the job and in the project how to work on Horizon Europe and how to help our applicants better. This slide is showing a bit what I call an identikit of the NCPs in our agency. We are full-time job NCPs, meaning that this is really our core activities. Most of us have 2 or 3 nominations, as I said, so more research fields to cover. We have mainly skills in project management, project drafting, trainer skills, public speaking, stakeholder engagement, socioeconomic and business skills. Only a few of us have skills in engineering or life sciences. So this is to highlight the fact that we are not expert in the research field. This is a choice that our governance has made, not to have also expert of the field, but more expert of more horizontal aspects of research and innovation. The coordinator of National Contact Point is at the Ministry of University and Research, but we have also a deputy coordinator in our agency. So there are basically one coordinator and a deputy, and the deputy is our director at APRE. APRE is not funded by the Ministry of Research. This is an interesting point. So we have to build our own business model because we don't receive public funding from our ministry. So that's why we have a network of associated members which pay a fee annually. And we also participate to all of these EU-funded projects, which are a source of funding also for us. This is something also we choose to do. So we are organized in competence teams, as many programs for Horizon Europe as many competence team, where there is 1 or 2 NCPs plus a couple of other colleagues who are non-NCPs but still are working with us and are helping in doing also the NCP work. And you see indeed an example of how this is shown on our website. Our NCPs have also a code of conduct, which is an ethical code of conduct, where we basically ask and the NCPs to respect some rules, which are all about confidentiality, conflict of interest. But this is a very important document which is regulating also if the NCP can or cannot participate to the calls of Horizon Europe. This is an interesting point in general for NCPs in this program. And now I go a bit to the activity we perform. So about informing and awareness raising, this is really the bulk of our NCP work, of your own NCP work. You start from informing, circulating documentation on Horizon Europe, organizing information and promotional activities, strengthening the link between science and civil societies and ensure gender balance. This has become very important. It's really an item where we are also lately investing more time, because Horizon Europe is a program which wants to reach as much as possible also the society and to go out of the research and innovation circles, because science must be also supported and influenced by the will of citizens and civil society in general. The first thing we have done in the beginning of Horizon Europe was this guide. This is, I think, among the few documents which we have translated in Italian. We work a lot in English. We don't translate for our researchers because we think that researchers anyway are international and they know English. But this is the very first and last document we have done in Italian, really guiding in the beginning of the program our applicant through the program. And then we also work a lot with media product, because nowadays the NCPs decided that they cannot travel everywhere in every conference and meeting. So we do a lot of this hybrid conference, and we also record pills, lessons on Horizon Europe on different themes, and they are all on our YouTube channel. And we think it's also a very efficient way to do information and awareness raising. This is the format of our website. So we have like 3 websites in one. But we kept also the Horizon 2020, the pre our Europe.it. And here I have to say that, of course, the information is shown in Italian. also communication channel are really important nowadays. So we all have LinkedIn accounts as national contact point. Our personal LinkedIn account are, I think, also a very important way of reaching applicants in your field. We have a weekly and monthly newsletter. Yeah, we have many communication formats that we are using to reach our applicant. Some example of events we have been doing in these first 3 years of Horizon Europe. Generally, we like to do like an Horizon Europe week. So we basically combine the different themes like health, agro-food, space, energy, transport. We create an agenda of 3-4 days in a row. And so we promote everything together in one shot. And yeah, we probably also get more attention and more subscriber to this event. Everything is always recorded and then available on the YouTube channel afterwards. But we also do on-site events. Now we are restarting to bring researchers and innovators in the same room. But of course, it's more costly. So we do it generally with for a specific reason, for a strategic reason. The majority of our information activities stay online also for 2025. One of the parts I feel, yeah, you really have to also work on, and it's the most complex, is the assistance also to researchers, because you really need to know well yourself the template, the proposal template, to know the rules of Horizon Europe, to know how to create a budget. And yeah, it is, I think, one of the activity that NCPs needs really hours to grow and to be performing. And to do this, I would say that the best thing is really to, of course, read the guiding document of European Commission, but also to follow the trainings that all the NCP projects are proposing in the to the NCPs, to all NCPs, not only EU NCPs, but also outside EU, because the majority of our trainings are anyway online. So it's possible to follow them or to watch the recording afterwards. And for the assisting part, also APRE is devoting a lot of time to this, and also to organize trainings for our Italian applicants, as I said. So these are really the main aspect of assistance. You see that there is a second bullet. Not every NCP is doing this in Europe, but read and evaluate proposal. This is really a time-consuming task, but we do it for coordinators, of course, not for partner project. And I think it really changes sometimes the quality of the proposals of Italian coordinators, but it's not something compulsory that every NCP has to do. Everything you choose to do, it's really your own choice in terms of assistance and trainings. Yeah, here I was listing all the guides that the NCPs should start to read, from the standard application form, because those are the first document that your applicant will anyway have to read, and they will ask information about those. The grant agreement also, it's something also complex, which is generally a task for legal and financial NCPs especially, but also thematic NCPs in Italy give advice and answer to question on legal and financial issues. Something which is interesting we are doing is analyzing data. We do it in different formats. Data are not available to all NCPs before they get on the dashboard or on the Horizon Europe NCP database. There are different ways, and I'm sure that also you got some information about this, or you will get it. But there are a lot of data that are available for us to do statistics, to see the participation of the different countries. And I advise you really to use data, because they give you a photograph of how your country is performing and to which area the researchers are more active or less active, or where they are excellent and where they need to improve. So this is a bit of what we have done in the past. We also do thematic analysis, of course. So each NCP is choosing his sector and performing analysis in his own research area. About the NCP at European level, I really wanted to share with you this information because we are all called to participate to the activity that these networks are organizing. The activities are really for all national contact points in every place in the world. You see the name of the network. Sorry, they are all acronym, not probably very easy to remember all at once, but you see Marie Sklodowska Net, of course, is the network for Marie Sklodowska Curie Action NCPs. Research Infrastructure NCP should also go and look at Reach Europe. The Health NCP, NCPs, they should also follow HNN 3.0, which is actually the network that I personally coordinate as a Health NCP. And there are many others, as you see. Each program as an NCP project, which is devoted to organize trainings for us, organize brokerage events, where the researchers are doing matchmaking activities. We have a lot of communication channels. We have newsletter. We have Google Group where the NCPs are can exchange information or ask questions. Yeah, each network has some specificity, but the main aim is really to basically offer to NCPs and to their participants different services. The brokerage events you will have in 2025, we will organize brokerage events for researchers, for innovators to participate to the 2025 calls. Basically in every program of Horizon Europe, especially the second pillar, where there are thematic clusters, as you know. The NCP project will organize these events. We also do tools and services. Basically, what we call tools are guidelines. They are commented guidelines. Here are some examples. Annotated research and innovation action template. We produced a glossary on Horizon Europe a few years ago, which is still, I think, an interesting starting point. We are really working on different type of formats like this. The annotated templates are very interesting because we inserted comments to each section of the proposal template so that the NCP and the applicant can be guided about what to write in that specific section of the template they use to submit the research and innovation proposal. So I've gone probably over my time of the 15 minutes, but I'm done. And I wanted to just leave you the page where you will find the contact of all the Italian national contact point. And finally, also my professional email address, buonocore@apre.it, if you want to get in touch with the Italian NCP team. If you want to ask any questions, I'm here available still for a few minutes. So thank you, Roberto, and I stopped the sharing.
Bene, Caterina, grazie mille for your speech and for your hints. I wonder if my colleagues have any questions or have any doubts they would like to ask Caterina. Maybe they will.
I'm looking at the chat, but I don't see anything.
No.
But yeah, I like also to I would like to know also if there is the health national contact point for cluster health in Nigeria connected. I would also appreciate it. Okay, maybe
Yeah, a good question.
Yeah, because being the coordinator of the health national contact point.
Maruf is there.
Maruf.
Maruf Sani. If you want to speak, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Roberto. Thanks a lot, Katrina. That was
Sorry, I don't see your face, and I will be happy that Caterina can see how good looking are Nigerian people.
Come on, Roberto.
No, you are. Well, I mean, Maruf studied in Milano.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Katerina. One of the thing I would like to know is how do you reach out to prospective applicants, or do they reach out to you? And that's one. The other thing is, do you also have them in a group? Because what we do here is to have some of our, potential applicants in a group, maybe by research area of interest and the rest. So do you have something like that? So, and how do you coordinate that if you do? Thank you.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I'm pleased to meet you online, Maruf. Yeah, we use a lot to reach out the right applicants or to encourage those ones who are more ready to participate in this international collaborative project, because that's what we want. We want really to stimulate those ones that are already more ready with the scientific publication, with patent offices of the research institutions, of the companies if they have one. So we have built a connection, a strong connection with all the grant offices of the whole ecosystem of research in Italy. I think that that's a very important circle of people, because the national contact points are few compared to the size of the number of researchers in the country, because it's not only public, but it's also private researchers. And maybe you want to reach also public entities who are funding research, because it's important to have them also in the loop. But what we did in the first 20 years is really knowing the grant offices, informing them first, asking them to go further, because they know whom to contact in their institution. So they are, I think, a very precious channel, the grant offices. We also have technology transfer offices sometimes in the loop. They are more into valorization of research results, but I think they're also very important in stimulating the right people to join and to evaluate the participation. So we first did a lot of info days for grant offices, and after that we also go out. Of course, it's not only one way. We do both through them, and we also have our database. We have a huge mailing list built during years and years of activities, and that's also a crucial thing. You need to build a mailing list, which is also how do you say, with filters, so that whenever you want to do a certain promotion, you do health and digital, or you do health and environment, or you do personalized medicine. So you need to also sometimes to be more precise in what you look for in the target group. I hope I answered. Was it this you wanted to know?
Bene, Caterina, grazie. There is another question from Gina. Gina, she raised the hands. I saw Gina before, or someone with a similar name. No, she was not
No.
Gina. But I remember that I saw another raise hands. Yes, Gina Oladakun. Gina, are you there? Gina.
No. In the meanwhile, I would like to share.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Right.
Hi,
Good afternoon, Katerina, Roberto, and everyone. Oh, it's just similar to what the previous.
Gina, sorry, could you please present yourself in which cluster you are working?
Okay, in health.
Good. So,
in health.
You are the right person to speak with, Caterina.
Well, from the morning, I'm excited to hear that I can actually wake up from my slumber and a lot of exciting things. And for Katrina, apart from Italians, do you assist people who are not Italians? And then for health, my area specifically is infectious diseases.
Sure.
So the question the previous person had asked was actually what I was also thinking about, but you had answered that really well. But just to know whether you can also assist others. And then in health particularly, do you know anyone who works in infectious diseases, particularly in children? Thank you.
Thank you, Gina.
Thank you, Gina. Yeah, on the last question about infectious diseases and if we have contact, yeah, we have contact with several of our research organizations doing infectious diseases because we have divided our client, so to say, in also thematic group. So we are generally consulting them also when the calls are coming up and they are in creation process. So yeah, we have a good circle of contact there. And in case you, for example, Gina, you want to be connected to a certain team, of course, you should drop us an email in Italy if you want the Italian contact, or and tell me what you need, and I can put you in touch. Of course, that's a part of our coaching job, and we like to also introduce and connect researchers from Italy to other countries. So as you know, as Health NCP, there is the Global Health EDCTP initiative, which is totally dedicated to infectious diseases in sub-Saharan Africa. So also there we have different actors interested and involved. So whenever you want, Gina, drop me personally an email about that. And we don't give assistance to researchers of other countries because this is not in the mandate of the NCP, which operates at the national level doing the job for his own community. So no, generally we give we tell go to the NCP of that country and look for assistance to him or her. That's what we should generally do as a practice.
Bene, Caterina, thank you so much. I wrote your professional email in our chat. So if anyone else would like to ask some question just to Caterina, or have any doubts overnight, Caterina will be more than happy just to. No, there is another question from Homop Kun. No. No one. Bene, allora, grazie and thank you so much. I'm sure that your words has been inspiring and you share some new ideas just to the colleagues in order just to think about. Grazie. Let's keep in touch. Ciao Caterina, un saluto. Bene, we have now a second presentation from the NCP of no, we have Maurizio Toscano. Maurizio Toscano, ciao Maurizio, buongiorno. Maurizio, can you hear me? Maurizio?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Maurizio, buongiorno. Maurizio, you're Italian, but you are based in Spain.
Yes, correct.
And
in Madrid.
Madrid. So, well, I mean, and I'm happy, but Maurizio accepted our invitation. Maurizio will present one of the, I would say, the key portal for NCP, which is called this Horizon Europe NCP portal. We will make some exercise on it, but I'm happy that Maurizio present and share with us which are the key potentials of this platform. And I would say that you are not an NCP if you are not familiar with this powerful platform, where I do really recommend you just to navigate. So you have the floor, Maurizio. Thank you for your time. We appreciate.
Thank you, Roberto. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for the organization of the event to ask us to be part of the agenda. It's also a pleasure to speak after Caterina, that is also part of our project, of the Horizon Academy project. I will switch a bit in doing the presentation. The focus of the presentation is on the NCP portal, but I sometimes cite also the Horizon Academy, that is the project that is behind the portal and that is maintaining and populating part of it and is taking care of the general infrastructure. So let me see if I can share my screen here. Should be able. Okay, let me know if you see it full screen or not.
We see the screen is full screen.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. So here I am. I speak today here both as NCP portal administrator and coordinator of the Horizon Academy project, as I mentioned before. And this is a specific presentation tailored to this event. So to have a general understanding of the portal, the NCP portal has been thought to be complementary to the funding and tender portal in terms of providing supporting documents and supporting material, resources, training resources to better understand and interpret the official documents that are on the funding and tender portal, and also for to complement the activity provided by the Commission, and that is the publication of call or the info days. There are basically three main aspects that are covered by the NCP portal, and there are trainings, events, and tools. We'll look at some of them in details. The NCP portal, it's called like that, is not just because it's for NCPs, but because it is by NCPs. So NCPs are, and particularly NCP projects, those projects that were mentioned before by Caterina, are those that maintain the content of the portal, and it is both for NCPs colleagues, so especially newcomers, so some of you and most of you in terms of NCPs, but is also very much focused on participants. So is where the NCP projects publish their content for participants and beneficiaries. So it has this double role. Short description of the evolution of the portal. Portal is a recently new activity. It started, the first public version has been published in May 2021. Then we have had the first full-featured version 1 year after, and it's like now basically 2 years old. We just launched in April the second version with more functionalities. And as said, is a relatively new player into the EU framework program for research and innovation, and has been conceived as the unique entry door for NCP knowledge and services to resolve also some of the fragmented offer that has characterized Horizon 2020 and the 7th framework program in terms of different places where both NCPs, especially NCPs that cover several functionalities. There are some of you in this role as well, and participants to have to jump from one place to another. So the idea, supported by the Commission, was to create a single entry point, a single common digital hub. So how to browse the Horizon Europe NCP portal? Basically, there are, as said, 2 target groups, both NCPs and participant and beneficiary, and there are 2 ways to browse the content: by content type and by team. We'll look at them now. By content type, we have 4 different entry doors. Let's say the first is focused on training, and it's called Academy. It's both for on-site and online training, courses and workshops.
Maurizio, sorry,
Sure.
Can I say something? What Maurizio is now showing is exactly the layout of the portal. So please keep in mind this layout, because when you enter into the portal, you will see exactly the same configuration. Sorry, Maurizio.
No, please, don't be afraid to interrupt. Events, so that is the stage section where there are events particular for participants. Tool and services, like Caterina was saying before, one of the main activities also of the NCPs is to produce these guidelines, these fact sheets, so these annotated templates, so these tools to help participants better understanding and better preparing better proposals. And then we have a last section that at the moment is a document repository, like a library of all the PDF and also a lot of training session that has been recorded that is available there, but very soon will be replaced at the beginning, during the course of the first half of 2025 by an NCP corner, so that is very relevant for you as NCPs, because we will concentrate there all the information that is specifically for NCPs, because at the moment, some of the information that is for NCP is also only for NCPs. So you need a verified account on the NCP portal. I will mention that at the end, and to access it. And that's so with the NCP corner, all that information will be put together in a corner, in a section of the website where everything that has been created to help NCPs to perform their work better will be placed there. So having a look specifically section by section, in the Academy at the end, at the moment, we have a lot of training sessions, as you can see. Almost half of them are only for NCPs, and has been organized by the Commission or by NCP networks. Then we have another kind of training that is very important, that are e-learning courses. By training session, we mean live session when there is, like today. It can be also a full day or 2 days event, but the training is live, and you have speakers. You can pose questions to. Instead, we have also e-learning courses that are more on stable subject of the framework program. At the moment, we have 21 e-learning courses, and they are basically training at your own pace. So you can enroll into the platform and take the course where it best suits you in terms of availability. Here is an example of how the catalog of courses looks like. And there are filters on the left. And there are these three categories of trainings, courses, and NCP training. In particular, I want to highlight for you the training that has been created by the network of NCPs in partner countries or global service facilities that are particularly oriented in creating resources for NCPs in their countries, in partner countries like Nigeria. So they are particularly relevant for you. And you can find them in the filter of published by. You can find NCP in partner country as one of the publishers, and you can find the content that is specifically developed by them. Here is an example of how a training looks like. So at the bottom, at the top, you have general information. At the bottom, you have documents, associated documents. We generally tend to have associated documents that can be the recording of the full recording of the event, or at least the presentation that has been used during the event. Here, I would like to highlight another training session that it has been taken last year, but is still very relevant for you. Also because it's a mix of international cooperation and Cluster 6. I saw that several of you, I think 10 of Nigeria NCPs cover these functionalities for food, bioeconomy, agriculture. I'm not surprised about that. And has been, so the relevant network that covered this functionality is Care4Bio, and they carried out 2 events where you have a lot of information. As you can see, there are the recordings and all the presentation that has been used during the events, and there were 2 days events. So this let me also present another functionality of the portal, that is the related material. So this is the section that is below an individual training. At the bottom, a matchmaking mechanism of the portal automatically present the user with other content that is related to the content that he's seeing at the top. So in this case, is on the first of these events, he's presenting the second one, that is the online training, and then also courses, other events with the International Europe Network, etc. Then here, switching a bit on the role of coordinator of the Horizon Academy. These are instead trainings that has been published by our project, and that is available. We have a specific role. One of the main difference between the Horizon Academy project and the other projects is that we don't work for participants, but we work exclusively for NCPs. So all our training sessions are open only for NCPs, and we tend to record them and to make available the presentation. So here you can see the list of what has been delivered so far. We have actually an event tomorrow, the last one on international cooperation. Is not particularly focused on Africa, but and I didn't want to highlight this information in advance, just because I know you are busy with this event. But don't worry, because the event will be recorded and will be available. On top of that, you need also an NCP account to access it. And as far as I can, the last time I checked, there was no Nigeria NCPs registered so far. So I invite you to do, because then it will open the door to access all this information that is specifically created for NCPs. The other link, I should say, of the Academia, of the NCP Portal Academy, is the Virtual Campus. The Virtual Campus is a different platform because technologically it's a learning management system. And at the moment, we have over 2,000 users and those courses. The courses at the beginning, they are pretty much wide spectrum of the program, and they are for people with basic low to medium level of knowledge, so perfect for you. They touch some And there is a new one developed by Global Service Facilities, Your New Life as partner country NCPs. So as said, I invite you to take them and to take those courses, and also to provide feedback. We have a feedback form at the end of each course. If you have feedback for us, whatever it is, we are open to hear you. One important feature that is unique of the NCP port on the NCP virtual campus, we also have some kind of certification of these courses. So we are working on this system at the moment. It's based on badges, badges that are a badge system. Badges are automatically assigned to the user that complete the course. Require watching the videos. All these courses are basically 90% of them are based on videos, and then we have also some additional material to read in PDF, and completing some quizzes. There are quizzes that can be just one or one for each module. Very easy, you know. In general, you know, if you follow the quizzes, you are able to complete the quizzes. If you follow the videos. And you are endorsed. Your knowledge acquired is endorsed by these badges. So, leaving now behind what is specifically training, another section of the portal is a stage that is where the events, past and forthcoming events about different topics of the Horizon Europe program are presented there, and they are presented both as a catalog or as a calendar. Exactly. This is one of the unique features of the NCP portal, and one of the strengths of the NCP portal, the ability to have a unified calendar showing events from different functionalities. So you can have an idea of what is going on, basically. This is the example of December, with all the different events that occur, obviously, sometimes also on the same day. And if you click on one, you are presented with some additional information. This is the event I was referring to on international cooperation tomorrow. When you are on one of these events, some of the features is also, once you are registered, the time zone is localized. Is not an issue for you because Nigerian is in the same, it's like in a European time zone, but it's very relevant for NCP in other countries, because you can see exactly when the event is going on. You can save on your calendar, you can bookmark, etc. Then where the tool and services are presented is the third section of it. Here's some example from Maris Lodowska-Kari actions that also I know it's very relevant for you, because it's a relevant program for international cooperation and mobility, and the catalog. And here are some of examples. This is for example, a tool, an example that we published as Horizon Academy project, and is an analysis of evaluation summary reports. Evaluation summary reports are the results of the proposal of participants, and this is a document that I suggest you to use, helping participants in preparing better proposal, because there is an analysis of over 130 evaluation summary reports to see what the evaluators are looking for, how the evaluators judge the proposal, so it can be of help to prepare better proposal, actually. The other way, so far we have seen how to browse the content by type, and then also we have, as was anticipated before by Caterina, the program is covered by different international NCP networks that cover the different functionalities, and this is a different way to browse the content. Basically, if you are interested just in one of those sections, or is the section of the portal that cover your functionalities, that is also one way you visit that site. Each network has its own website within this umbrella portal. We also offer additional services, like the ability to find NCP in other countries, so that cover other functionalities. And here's some example from this website that are embedded within the portal. For example, if you work as head of food, bioeconomy, or agriculture, Horizon Europe NCP portal / cluster 6 is the place to go. And for several of these networks, basically is the only place where they publish the information. So that is why it's very relevant. This is another example from cluster 5 that is on climate, energy, and mobility. Here, I'm included some specific tool that is only available on the NCP portal, like the stakeholder directory and the connected documents that are published by these stakeholders. And here is a general overview. And now it has said the portal is 2 years old. We are also cleaning out some of the old content, maybe still referencing. At the beginning, we also had a lot of content referencing still to Horizon 2020 because it was still relevant for the project that were financed at the end of the program. But so we are also cleaning a bit the long tail of the content, but still there are a lot of content published. There is also a specific website, a specific database for legal and financial NCPs. If I'm not wrong, there are at least one or two legal and financial NCPs nominated there in Nigeria, and you can access their specific information that is just for legal and financial NCPs, several media, restricted documents, and videos. So, as said also before, one call to action to you: I strongly suggest you to create your own account, both on the NCP portal and on the virtual campus. There should be, they are so far two separated accounts because they are technological, two different infrastructure. Because the accounts are manually verified, it normally takes 1-2 days. It depends also weekends to verify your account. You will receive an email when the account it's verified, and you can then access the extra information. But also without registering, you can see all the information without logging in. Once you have your account, you can still see all the experience that participants also see. So to conclude, how we communicate with the NCPs, we as Portal and as Horizon Academy project. We maintain the NCP portal newsletter, where all NCPs worldwide are automatically subscribed. Can unsubscribe, but that's very rarely happened. And we send an email, a newsletter normally every couple of months. And so my suggestion is just to save the email from which we send the email in the safe sender list, because sometimes, obviously, there are thousands of or hundreds of NCPs, actually 1,600, I think, in general, worldwide. So we use program to send in mass, to send bulk emails, and sometimes they can be detected as spam. So to avoid that, you can save our email that we use to send the information to in your safe sender list. We also have an X Twitter account and one also relevant channel where we communicate with NCP, but also it's not just the other two are mainly one-to-many, especially the newsletter is a one-to-many tool. But the LinkedIn, we have a LinkedIn group. We maintain a LinkedIn group that is, you have to apply for membership because it's just for NCPs or for people working in NCP unit. The link, or you search for it into LinkedIn and apply for membership, or there is the link at the bottom of the newsletter. And it is also a group, so it's something that can be interactive and where you can also pose questions or have some interaction with colleagues in other countries. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope I haven't been too long. Sorry.
Maurizio, grazie for your time and for your presentation. I wonder if there are any questions from my colleagues from Nigeria. My first question is, how many out of you didn't have already experience with this portal? because it seems to me that this portal is rather new to the majority of you. I don't see any reply. Well, I mean, but I suspect that the knowledge about Erasmus Plus NCP portal is this is very small. Could you share? Well, I mean, I read many questions. Could you share the link, Maurizio? Because I know which is the link. I already put the link in the chat box, but maybe not all the participants got it. So yeah, I don't know if you have a place where you can write it.
Well, it's in the chat. I can put again into the.
Well, I mean,
chat.
I put it again. Yes, this is Horizon Europe,
that is the Horizon Europe
ncpportal.eu.
ncpportal.eu, exactly. I'm not surprised that can be a rather new tool, because in the general panorama of even in we generally present the results of the project and the portal in the biannual into the events for NCP coordinators in Brussels, and I still found some national coordinator that is relatively new and maybe not completely aware of these tools. So we are also making some dissemination campaign about it, because really the amount of content that is available is relevant. And the effort by the NCP network projects, we are just the maintainers of the platform and taking a bit the responsibility of pushing it forward. But the content is created by the different NCP networks, and definitely there is high quality content that can help, particularly newcomers NCP. So I'm not surprised that it's not known, but that is why I accepted this invitation, because it was a great opportunity to present specifically to this, because there is such a vast community of NCPs in Nigeria. It's like 65, I think. And so definitely, I suggest, as I said, to create an account and have a full experience of the NCP portal there.
Yeah, well, yes, and all the NCPs in Nigeria have been appointed last year. So, well, I mean, the network is revenue, and they got only one training session, which was not on this tool. So the first training session was how to write proposal. So this is the first training session dedicated to the role of NCPs and how they should perform, which are the key tools they have to use. So this is the reason why, if can I conclude, the key message is register to the NCP portal, because if you register, you can save time in terms of you receive on a regular basis updating and information about what the portal do. For example, I would like just to open the portal because I would like just to show you what we did, what we discussed. So this is the portal. Okay.
Information out today event is under Academy, NCP only training. That is accessible then because you are not logged in as NCPs. It's under Academy. You won't be able to see the actual. But it's also, that is why it's so important to have an account. Also because for all the events that we publish as Horizon Academy, the registration itself to the event, it's embedded into the portal. So then it's also how to fill it when you have all the information. So it's really one click. We announce all our trainings through the newsletter. So that maybe it's also something to double check, because even if because the subscription to the newsletter is automatic, we have the mandate from the Commission to subscribe all newly nominated NCPs. So I'm pretty sure that all the NCP from Nigeria should be already inscribed. So double check that you are getting. If not, you can also drop an email to feedback at Horizon Europe NCP portal or to myself, and we'll check, but you should be already subscribed. We announce all the upcoming training from Horizon Academy. Okay, double check that. Should be loading. It loads on Roberto email, on Roberto PC. And so we announce all the training there. And once you are registered, basically it's like 2 clicks to enroll in one of those trainings, because the information is also pre-filled by the platform.
Yes, Maurizio. So I would like to show this is the portal, and these are the the 4 blocks that Maurizio mentioned. And when you enter inside of each block, is really the word. So you get really lost, but you can really identify. And then this is what Maurizio mentioned. In this part, they are separate website, one for each cluster. So these are extremely the information which are content wide and which are extremely important, and they are relevant. So I do recommend you register just to the portal, as Maurizio was saying. You inscribe in your account, and you receive only the information you need. There are some questions. To the best of my knowledge, it seems that some would like, there are 2 questions in the chat. No, there are no questions. Bene, allora, I thank you. Sorry, there is 2 new messages, one from David. Yeah, well, I mean, David Pelmo, Maurizio, I don't know if you can see it. Maybe can you write your email in order that anyone who has some doubts can, because here Basir is telling me is live, the link is not loading.
This can be a concrete issue on his side, because in general the website is loading. So, but if he says some, we have different channels of information, so I can put them all of them there for troubleshooting, technical issue about the portal. I write it down. That is feedback. Also because we generally receive a lot of emails, so we have to differentiate according to the subject or. Okay, this is for, and my colleague Carmen normally distribute that. And then for general information, about the portal. Here, and my personal one is Maurizio Toscano. If you think that it's relevant to write to me, feel free to do it. Here it is.
Bene, allora, grazie Maurizio, grazie Caterina. We were supposed to have an intervention from Tugela Batuba. She's one of the NCP from South Africa, but she didn't show up, so I do imagine that she had difficulties or some technical issue. So thank you so much, and to all my colleagues. See you tomorrow at 10 sharp. Tomorrow will be our second and the last day. And if you have some headaches or some dream during the night, do not hesitate. send me, please keep it for tomorrow morning. Well, I mean, generally, one of the reasons why we organize 2 days training course, it is because in the night between day 1 and day 2, people start to think and start to have doubts. So, and we will be more than happy just to try to reply to your doubts tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Tomorrow we will make some exercises. So please be ready, and thank you again for your participation. We started in 33 people at 10 o'clock, and we close with 32. So I would say that the mortality rate of this training course is rather limited, and this is already an indicator of attention and curiosity from your side. Thank you so much. Thank you, Caterina. Thank you, Maurizio. Thank you, Cogniti. See you at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Grazie. Bye.